is kind of tilted. The foundation is strong because Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
Introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
Oh, we live. Oh, hey y'all. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? I mean, what's really going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. You've tuned in to Unhinged Live. It's your girl, Nikita Tilted Halo Hansford, sitting alongside my very good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC, Master Life Coach Extraordinaire. You know that's my best friend, y'all. I want to go ahead and take this opportunity to go ahead and say welcome to those of you who are going to join us on the replay. We appreciate your support, and we hope that you continue to support the way that you continue to do. And speaking of support, if y'all enjoy what y'all see and hear us putting down here on the platform, go ahead and share the broadcast. You know, it's our goal weekly to make sure that we bring you something to empower, uplift, and make you laugh, chuckle, something. You leave every week with a little bit something to carry you on to next Tuesday. So go and tell somebody about the platform. You can follow us on one of our several platforms that you see listed on the flyer. Save the Arts TV, Twisted Threads, Tilted Halo, Unhinged with Tilted Halo. We out here in these internet streets on Facebook and on YouTube under all those names and all those channels. So thank you so much in advance for all of your support. We're going to get into what's going to happen on tonight's broadcast. Of course, you know, we got an amazing guest scheduled for y'all. And check it out. If this is what you do on a Tuesday night, go on and get your little concoction, because we got the concoction queen sitting in with us on tonight. Of course, we're going to get into a super fan shout out, enjoy a music spotlight during our musical break. And we're going to revisit that topic that we done brought back to the forefront. I was today years old. I don't even know why that. Okay. Then we're going to go into what's really going on. Of course, we're going to receive our daily, it should be daily, but our weekly dose of spiritual nourishment from Coach Cash herself, Twisted Threads LLC. And of course, we'll enjoy the outro when your girl Tilted Halo encourages y'all to continue to just be. So let me bring that back to the top of the show, because I gotta check on my people because I love her so much. She's so beautiful. Wouldn't you, Coach Cash? How you doing tonight, my dear? I see you in your Nam Yoho Renge Kyo. What's going on, sis?
You know, it's a lot of things going on in my world all at the same time. And I'm working on harmony. Right? So we got a lot of hats. The job has their expected hats. We got home got expected hats. And I'm grateful because I get the opportunity, right, to recharge, to reconnect, to see what's going on with my good girlfriend and all of our audience and our listeners, to get that energy and that vibe back up, right? Because you do know that when we pour out, like, we got to make sure that we're pouring from our overflow, that part there. So I'm just like really into my tonight. I'm filling my cup because real life is going to collide, right? And then I'm going to need to pour out a lot tomorrow. Also, when we're outside, you know, I've learned that I only like people some of the time. Only some of the time. And then it'd be like, Y'all still out there? Why? I would like to be out there, but not always with everybody. And so I'm recharging tonight. And for those of you, if this is not a recharge for you, then you're probably doing it wrong, because every Tuesday we get the opportunity to recharge, to connect, to build, right, our sisterhood, to build and be inspired by our guests. And I'm excited about tonight's guest too, because it's like we're gonna get into some things. You know how you just have those people that you could just have a conversation. Well, me and you, Tilted, we can have a conversation with anybody. I don't think that we've met someone that we couldn't kiki it up with them for a little while. But tonight, you know, it's something special when you get some folks of substance, right? When you know the stock. I think that's the thing. And so I'm excited about that. But before we get into that, right, you know, I got to flip the script. Got to check on you. You know, we had a conversation, and I'm going to tell on you a little bit, right? Because this is the type of friend that I am. And so while I'm big up in my sister, I'm big up in myself too. I was like, I really do hope that there are tears in your Saturday. So we had a connection, right? And there was some awards, and we're going to get to them. We're going to talk about it. We ain't talking about it right now, but, you know, we going to talk about it. And I was like, I really do hope that there are tears. I hope that you're, at least in your heart, that you're overwhelmed with gladness. And honey, if you don't got friends that's like wishing for you to be overwhelmed with goodness, get some new ones. But I'm excited about it, right? Because before we bring our guests on and stuff, yes, I've been having a little bit of shenanigans. So this is what I'm talking about, right? Because this past Saturday, we had the Rising Together award ceremony, right? And they had different categories defining autonomy for the 21st century. And they were celebrating during this Women's History Month, right? Yeah, she already knows. She don't know what to expect, especially when she leave me in the studio by myself, right? So I was in the studio for a few minutes by myself, and look what I had come up with while I'm in the studio by myself. But this beautiful picture here as we celebrate the presentation of the award to none other than our Nikita Tilted Halo Hansford. What? Coach Keita of Tilted Halo Broadcast Media Entertainment LLC. We saying all of the things, and so happy for you to get your flowers while you are here, to hopefully pour some little gas in your tank for you to keep going. Because what? Can't stop, won't stop. But I had to do it now. I had a thought in my head, like, we're going to wait till later and we're going to celebrate. We may or may not bring this picture up another time, but look at my beautiful sister here being celebrated. And there was a story behind, like, even her being ushered out by one of our tribe mates. And it's like perfection, like perfection. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now, and then I'm gonna give you the microphone back. But I'm gonna ask you, as I figure out decide whether I'm gonna take this picture down or not, I'm gonna ask you the question: how you doing,
girl? I'm all right. I must say I'm doing okay after this whirlwind of a weekend. I had to sequester myself. Not like that's uncommon. Y'all don't see me nowhere unless I need to be there. But I spent some time with me, which is my favorite thing to do, before I headed on over to the event on Saturday, and enjoyed so much about the day. There were so many different conversations and presentations about artificial intelligence and women and the use of such things in the business world globally, where we're going to be going as it pertains to the use of 6G in the near future. Just a whole lot of information was being passed in that room. And I just sat here, I was like, yo, I'm counted amongst this here greatness. I am absolutely grateful to the point of, can you overflow your outflow your overflow? I think so. Because y'all know, again, my favorite thing to do is be with me. So when I go outside, it takes a lot of energy. But I tell you, it was energy that was well spent. I got to enjoy the day with some of my greatest associates and comrades. I got to wear that cute dress that I'm grateful I was able to purchase from our sister Racia Kaba's Rika Boutique. So, you know, our motto, my closet stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready.
Ow.
But I'm all the more humbled because, Karen, you already know, I don't do this for the fortune and the fame, because what's here in this earth realm is temporal. Everything I do, my every endeavor is to give glory to God the way that I'm designed to do it. You know, Revelation 12:11 said, tell our testimonies, because that's how we going to overcome. So I started telling my testimony, which encouraged somebody else to tell their testimony. And it really created an awesome snowball effect. And here we are, Tilted Halo Tribe 2.0, pushing year 3, the 3-year birth date of the brand. I can't be better blessed. If that even makes any kind of sense. I couldn't be better blessed if I wanted to be, you know. Grateful for our sister friend Rhonda, grateful for Marisol and G. For Yolanda, the tribe, when we show up for one another. That's not just something we talk about on this show. Y'all know, you see me, one of them is close by, maybe 2 of them, maybe 3 of them, but we really, really, really do love and support each other in our individual branding endeavors. So listen, I'm looking at the clock, and Lord, I've been talking for a long time, but you started it, Karen. So just thank y'all again for tuning in. I got to get into the super fan shout out, because you know our guest is from the South, and I don't need her coming in here with Grandma Switch trying to check me because I made her wait outside on the porch too long. So Karen, can I ask you kindly for that drum roll, please, so we can get into the super fan shout out?
Absolutely. Here we go.
It's just so wonderful. Week after week, it just gets better and better. But check it out, y'all. Lean in close. I don't know. I got a whole lot of words I could say about tonight's Superfan shout out. Let me fix my clothes because I look a little messy on screen to myself. Listen. And I think that's the spirit of tonight's Superfan shout out in entering the room, because, you know, every time you see her, sister girl is cute. And when she opens her mouth, I promise you, she reveals the prolific individual that she truly is. Not only is she beautiful on the outside, she is stunning on the inside. Her soul is beautiful. And I'm talking about none other than my sister, Jackie Williams. Yes, we are celebrating you tonight, Princess. Yes, we are. Why? Because you deserve it, sis. Ever since you came back into my world, and we have been reconnecting as the, you know, grown-ups that we are now, there hasn't been a day that has gone by when I have doubted that you would be there for me. I get to watch you love on your children. I get to watch you love on your friends. I get to watch you flow professionally in a way that only a sister can. Okay, I got to snap it up for your professionalism, Jackie. I might be a little jaded because I'm your sister. No, I'm not a little jaded. I'm a whole lot jaded. I am so proud of you. No one knows the intricacies of our stories like we do when we sit down and when we share. But baby, when you open your mouth, the earth stops and listens. So I'm grateful that you choose to continue to walk alongside me, and that you've embraced the tribe the same way that the tribe has embraced you. We look forward to you laying down your purpose the way God designed it for you, because as we heard you say on Sunday evening, you only got one life to live, sis, and I expect to live it bigly right alongside you. Shout out to you, Jackie. I know you got something to say, Karen. Go ahead.
You know, I'm blessed to be able to be adopted into the family, right? And to have a connection with you, Jackie. We love you tremendously. We are excited about not just your next, but your right now, and how we are able to see you being watered, how we are able to see you watering those around you. And I concur. I mean, Tilted, if somebody didn't know you, maybe they would think you just are giving flowers because that's your kinfolk, right? But the love is genuine. The support is genuine, but the brilliance is also genuine. So I'm excited anytime we get to celebrate you, Jackie. You already know. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice tonight. Yes, I am. But I'm so super excited to see you continue to branch out, continue to do more. And blessings on you, sis. We love you. Like Round to say it, we love you, Jackie.
We love you, Jackie.
We love you. Okay. All right. It's getting dark outside. We can't have the people outside on the porch. Wait a minute, let me see.
She might leave.
Okay, all right. They ringing the
bell
now.
Act right.
Let's get ourselves together, right? We got special guests, right? Got actress extraordinaire, poet, all of the things. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. You let me know. Am I pressing the button?
Nah, I thought you was doing the intro because you was flowing, sis. Go ahead and do that thing there.
Listen, I don't have a problem at all. I just, we're going to give her a chance to fully introduce herself. But poet, comedian, actor, right? Listen, if y'all got any of the streaming services, chances are you could find her in something, in a channel near you. You think I'm playing? Listen, a woman full of life, laughter, and love. If you've never had the opportunity to see her perform in any way, shape, or form, then honey, you just missing out. And so we invite you to, what do we say? You see it on the screen. Grab your passports as we welcome Crazy Carla to our tilted table. Well,
salutations, Earthlings. How y'all feeling tonight?
Amazing. So excited to be in community with you tonight and to officially, introduce you to our listeners, our audience, and super excited for them to see not just your lovely face, but the lovely vibe that you bring. And so we're gonna get into it, Carla. We're gonna get into it. Not even, ma'am, not even. But I promise we love the work that you're doing. Yes, Tilted.
Thank you so much. I'm just so happy to be here. Oh, listen, hold on. I got
to raise the concoction to Carla tonight.
I'm always ready with a concoction.
Okay. I had to do it for you, sister.
Thank you, sis. Look at here. I appreciate it. It's nothing like having libations with your friends and loved ones. You understand me?
Right now.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't drink it. I got too excited.
A little taste, a little wetness.
Yeah. Let me wet my whistle. Everybody don't know that. The young folks don't know about that wet your whistle. I had to. Hi, Shelby, PA.
We love you, Shelby.
Hey, Shelby. Happy birthday, girl.
Hi, Rhonda. Hi. How you doing? Oh, it's a birthday. Happy birthday every season.
It's Rhonda's birthday too. It's still Karen's birthday.
Yeah, so we still, we linger. We the Pisces birthday.
That's all right.
We linger. So.
Yes, ma'am.
And Shelby as well. We all listen. Happy birthday to all of us. It's going to be a celebration no matter when.
Absolutely.
So, Carla, hopefully you feel welcome. We thank you for those in the comment streets welcoming our guests this evening. But we got some folks, right, who may not know who you are, what you do, and just tell us a little bit about who Crazy Carla is, your upbringing. We want to get in your business tonight.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know how to start. Well, my name is Crazy Carla. That's my stage name. It's Miss Simpson if you're nasty. A lot of people know me by my good man, Carla Simpson, the actress.
Yes.
Crazy Carla, the comedian. Afro 10, the poet.
All right now.
So I'm here in North Carolina, Winston-Salem. I've been here since I was 14 years old. I've lived a little bit here and there and everywhere. I have a lot of family down south. I have a lot of family in PA, as a matter of fact,
Awesome.
Philadelphia and Brooklyn, New York. So yes, shout out to everyone. I was raised by my mom and my grandparents. And I'm especially a granddaddy's girl, my big daddy. I'm a
All
big
right.
daddy's girl. I tell
All
people
right.
that all the time. My granddaddy had 4 girls and he spoiled them. And by them being spoiled and the apple of, they had 17 children altogether. Let me say that. My
Wow.
grandparents had 17 children. And my mom is one of 17. But I just grew up knowing that I was loved down here in the South and in the North. My Northern family loved on me. So I think it reflects because I like to love on people.
Mhm.
I like to love people that are around me. I like to make people laugh. I have been doing that all my life. I'm dramatic. I'm a Leo. So, what can I say? Uh, baby, I'm a Leo. That's what I tell you. I'll be like, people say, well, how are you? I'm a Leo. You know, in the Leo, not the crazy stuff. Now, I'm not that. Because I hear people say Leos are selfish. We are not me. Okay.
And Jackie's Leo too. She's not selfish.
Definitely not
No.
selfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am a mother who has raised 4 adult children. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm now in Sugarland, as we call it, because they are not allowed to call me grandma. Because when you look like this, you're not, no granny, sugar.
All
They
right
call me
now.
sugar, okay? And I don't know, I think, I'm at that age now where I think I was telling Karen earlier, I think I'm going through a midlife crisis because I'm literally midlife right now.
Right?
So I
That is
just
so
feel like
real.
switching gears and look, she said the lipstick too,
You know we the
Nikita.
lippy folks.
Girl, I
Yes.
told you he's on that lippy.
Okay, so listen, this is
Send her a check, y'all.
Ruby Kisses Purple Affair. And you can get it on Amazon or the local Black Beauty Supply store
All
near
right.
you. Okay.
That's enough. Ain't nobody cut no check yet. Y'all, that's enough.
I'm just saying that's what, because people always say, and look, I substitute teach the children. Hi. And so honey, they said, why is your lips purple?
Because I wanted them to be.
So, it depends on what mood I'm in. Today I was in a purple mood. I felt like purple. I taught 6th graders all day today.
You probably needed that extra boost today,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I needed my beverage and my lipstick.
Well,
So here we are. I don't, I don't know. And also I used to have a husband a long time ago. I'm single. And as we know, the dating pool is like a hazardous waste site.
Girl,
that was a very clean way to say it.
Mine
Was
over here in the
it
corner.
nice? Clean that up like that.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
I got my hazmat suit in the corner, but go ahead.
Lord. If that ain't, but I feel like that's the appropriate statement for it. One of the best statements that I had. But when we say hazardous waste, like
Sites. Yes.
there's a lot of things that come with that. But I love Tilted. You jump right in. You got your hazmat suit. You know what it is when you're getting out there because you're hoping for something, but
Actually, I'm in the, I think like they say, when you start loving on yourself, all the other stuff comes.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of am not kind of, that is where I am right now. I'm also being very purposeful with my words. That's something that I try very hard to watch what I say, because not only do our words manifest, but our thoughts manifest. And a lot of people don't grab that. What you think becomes words. So your words becomes actions, right? So I'm very heavy into manifesting things. I believe that I can think a thing and it will happen. And I've had it happen. I can say a thing and it will manifest. So I'm at this stage in life now where I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? And Karen answered so eloquently, everything. And I say, yeah, I think that's what's going on. Everything.
So, and we're gonna get into that because you know, Carla, you've got a couple of current titles, right? Like it's one thing where people are like, well, I used to, and 2 years ago I did, and then 3 years ago I did, and next year I'm gonna.
Right.
But ma'am, like, yeah, booked and blessed. That's what we're gonna say because it's the poetry now, it is the acting now, it's the comedian now, it is the substituting and influencing our today generation now. And so being able to have the opportunity to do all of that, it's like we could talk for a very long time just taking one of those segments, right? So talking about what was sort of, when did you first realize that you had a passion for each of those? So when did you realize you had passion for poetry? And then how did that turn into, you know, your stand-up comedy? Because I mean, I promise, if y'all ain't seen Carla, y'all might have laughed, but y'all ain't really laughed until you seen her lead a show. And I promise you, you know, we have women of a certain age, you may or may not need your Depends, or you know, they're cute now. They got the cute little, what we call them, the supportive drawers. I don't know what we call them. But even with that, so like, when did you realize from you getting into poetry to saying, I can do something else, I can do something else, right? And still continuing to grow today?
Well, it's weird. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing now happened. I didn't plan on doing it. I kind of like jumped into it. I was like, so with poetry at the time, I was married. I was married to the same man. I was with the same man for 17 years. We had children. I had 4 children in the house. I was working in corporate America. I was actively in church with my children. I was teaching Sunday school, children's church, prison ministry, missionary, you know, all the things that women do, right?
Right.
And baby, I was stressed out. And so I heard they was having like a little poetry slam event. And honey, one night I told my ex-husband, I said, I got to go see so-and-so, one of my girlfriends. I lied. And I tipped down there to that little poetry slam. And I just threw my hat in the ring. And that's how that happened. And I started speaking and going to these little poetry slams. And then we went to a girls' night, and they were having an amateur comedy competition. And I was on my second green apple martini already by the time they announced that they were giving away a cash prize. And my girlfriend said, Carla, you need to get up there and do it. And I said, well, how much? And when I said, wait a minute, then I went up there and put my name on the list. And I got on the stage and I talked about raising children and a daddy. And I won my very first time I touched the stage. And I kind of got bit by the bug. And Amos Quick took me under his wings. I don't know if y'all remember him, but he used to be on the radio here. Now he's a what, commissioner or something now. He's doing the deed. Yeah. And then I was doing comedy with Carlos Massey. They asked me to come out and start doing comedy, him and Calvin Boyd, and I was the only female on the crew. So I started doing shows with them when they were just starting out. We were like this little tribe of comedians. So it was me, him, James Lyons. And at the same time, one night Carlos called me. He said, sis, I wrote this play and I heard your voice the whole time while I was writing this lady. And I was like, what? He was like, no, serious. So he's like, look at it. I want you to check it out. So that turned out to be Her Story, His Truth, as you know, that won so many awards. And I played that old trifling First Lady Gloria Jones. So, she was a first lady like you never seen before.
Mm-mm.
And I had so much fun being her, just being downright crazy. And that was my jump off into, because I had always done acting. I went to school, North Carolina Agricultural Technical State University, radio broadcasting. I minored in French, but then I was going to do a double major in speech and theater arts and broadcasting. And then I dropped out and became a mother.
All
So
right.
I kind of put my life on hold. So once I started doing comedy, acting soon followed. And so here I am now, years later. I mean, I'll say I don't care. I'm 51 years old.
Yes.
Now I'm doing my things that I want to do,
Gotcha.
and I'm enjoying life. I'm
Yes.
doing all the things I felt like I should have been doing 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But as we know, divine timing
is everything.
And so I feel like what I'm doing now is what God wants me to be doing. Even I just recently was unemployed. Even all the things that all of us, every woman has a story, right?
Oh yeah.
I never intended to be anybody's mama. I wanted to be the fabulous auntie. However, that is not what happened. But I thank God, because as y'all can see, my best friend is 6 years old. It's my sugar baby. And, there's so many things that came with the life lessons that helped me with my comedy, that helped me with my poems, that helped me with my acting. And so here I am today, and the fact that I grew up with this eclectic family also, I had a father who was a musician. My mom was a church lady musician. My grandma was she wanted to be an entertainer. She was a nurse. I have all these different things in my gene pool, and here I am representing. And so I just counted all divine timing. Everything is divine timing. Everything that is supposed to happen, happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love everything you've shared to this point. And I gotta jump in here because you said something. So I had a couple quick questions for you, and then we're gonna get into it a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm having hot flashes. Y'all forgive me. Yeah.
Okay. Girl, listen. Have fam will follow if necessary, girl. I am 53 years fabulous. I understand. Okay. Zero judgment coming from your girl. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
And we have a term for it. We're gonna share the term, and then I'm gonna point it back over to you. We are queen ages. Okay.
Yes.
We are, all right, because we know what this is, but we are living life, and so it's not over. We out here, queen ages.
Yeah, we queening. We're just getting started. So you talked about how you started with the poetry, and the spoken word, and you said something that absolutely caught my ear because I can absolutely relate. You said you snuck to a little spot, and then you started sneaking to the spot. I have to ask you because we've talked even before tonight's broadcast, and you walk with a level of spirituality that is just for me. I'm here for it. So I want to ask you specifically, how long were you a church going mama, and how long have you been a non-church going mama?
Okay, so I will say the crazy thing is, I grew up in church. I grew up in a cult. I grew up in a cult that's very much like Hebrew Israelite, like Seventh-day Adventist. I grew up celebrating the Sabbath like Hebrew, like Jewish people. And I did that until I went to college. And at that point, I was like, I'm tired of church. And then when I had my oldest daughter, because I have two biological children. The other two I raised, they were my ex-husband's children. When I met him, they were 2 and 3, but I don't differentiate. They're my kids. I raised them. When I had Nala, my oldest, something got in my spirit real heavy. I was going to church already, But when she was like 3 months old, I got baptized in a Baptist church. Now, mind you, I went to a church where people didn't holler, shout, none of that. So when I first started going to Baptist church, I thought it was a trip. I would be sitting in there looking at people like, girl, what is this? Okay. But the music, the vigor of the preaching, all of it, it just called to my soul. So I was active in church from then up until, I'll say, my last child went to college. I was active in church until the pandemic. That's when everything changed for me. And I started being bedside Baptist. But I had already started down the path of also, and I had always been into it because my big daddy, he's a history buff. He was a history buff. I started researching my ancestral ways, our true ways. And when I say ancestral, not just Africa, a lot of us are indigenous to America. You know, they try not to tell us that. But when your family members get a DNA test and they say 30% indigenous, what that mean?
This our land.
Right.
But go ahead.
So this is my country just as much as it is anybody else's. And I have African blood, can prove it. And I started researching the things we've been taught versus the things that actually are. And how a lot of our religion, I know it ruffles feathers, but a lot of this stuff, y'all, that we learned, I love God. You know, I love God, but I just feel like we have put God in a box. And God is not this white man's version of God that we have been taught. Definitely not. I definitely believe one of my big things that I advocate is not ancestor worship, but ancestor honor, veneration.
Yeah,
I believe that if we can believe in angels and demons, why can't we believe in our ancestors? That people in our literal bloodline go heavy for us in the spirit realm, because spirit world is real. It's real. Spirits are real. There is good and evil. There are spirits. And when your soul leaves your Bible, the Bible tells you your spirit separates itself from your person. Where does it go? Well, everybody's like, it's in heaven. Where is it?
Girl, you talking good stuff right now. Because I listen, I promise you, I had a similar experience during the pandemic when I lost my mother. I'm stuck in the room with nothing but me and my laptop. I got a whole lot of information at my fingertip, and I had a whole lot of unanswered questions. So I love you that you brought to the forefront of the conversation. If we can believe in angels and if we can believe in demons, why can't we believe in our ancestors and ancestral veneration? I'm familiar with the term because I actually downloaded an Audible about the subject because I was curious, because I noticed certain things started to happen to me that were extremely real after my birth mother transitioned. I've long walked in the understanding that everything that we practice in the organized brick and mortar form of westernized religion is not real. I've often had conversations. You know, that's just the show, right? Because
and it's hard. It's hard when you're a church girl.
Yeah, because I'm a whole PK.
But my granddaddy was a deacon and an elder. You know, I grew up around church, just not the way y'all did, but I did. But the Bible was shoved down my throat. You know?
Okay, so it's like, okay, this is this and this. But like you said, and we've said this quite often here on the platform, and I'm certain you've heard it on several occasions. Stop putting God in the box, because by inboxing God that way, you are boxing yourself. Because if the spirit of God rests in you, that means that you yourself are capable of all things. But the westernized Christian mind is afraid of the word manifestation.
Right.
when we understand what the Bible says, when it says we can speak it and it can happen, it's in the word. So why can't we say we are manifesting by the words that we speak with our mouth, right? Out of the abundance of the heart does the man speak. And
Yes.
as a man
In the
speaks,
beginning was the word, and the word was God.
That
and
part.
he spoke and he said, let there be.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's just as simple as that. And I tell people when we've been brainwashed, I just, because sometimes it's a touchy subject and people don't want to hear it, but we've been brainwashed out of our power. And when I say that, I mean a lot of the things that people say are demonic are not demonic, y'all. It was us tapping into our power, and because they didn't have the power,
that part.
They didn't have the access. They did not have the key.
Yep.
It became evil and wicked and demonic, and they wanted us not to tap into it, because as long as we could call up the winds and have animals doing stuff for us and controlling the weather by opening up our mouth, and they saw us doing it, they were like, how do we do that? And they tried to get that power from us, and they couldn't. And they realized it was the melanin. It's the melanin. It's their power. It's something that goes back to their ancient land. These people are literally tied to the earth in a way that we are not. And spiritually, they realized that we were getting power, empowered from our spiritual ancestors. That's why they stopped us from being able to call them up with drums, talk to them. We were told that's demonic. You cannot be talking to your dead ancestors. And they realized it's because we was getting power from our ancestors.
That part. It's an interesting thing that you say, Carla, because we even see that in the news now of, denounce this particular pastor because they're speaking to the dead. But it's interesting to me because as you were talking, I always recall, when back in the day when Oprah had her book of the month club, right? And they would have a book called The Secret, right?
Yes.
Secret sold millions of copies to tell us what we already have been taught in Sunday school. Speak it, believe it, manifest it, your dreams. And it goes back to what you were mentioning of the trying to cultivate something that wasn't really a natural part of it, right? So many of us, and I tell my husband, like, I'm church girl through and through, same thing. The father pastor, I got so many frequent flyer miles that I could get to heaven just on my frequent flyer miles on how many hours I done been in church, okay? But when we think about how we are able to shape our world, right? We got 3 positive sisters here. We got positive sisters in the comment streets. There's a thing that even now when we think about that negative positivity, right? No such thing. Stop putting labels on stuff. But because we're so used to putting labels on things, I know that that's one of the things that's been the biggest challenge for our other church folk. Because I tell people I'm fully brainwashed, right? I believe things that I'm never going to not unlearn because literally it's flowing in my blood. But there are some lived experiences, and it's almost one of those things that and there's a question, I promise, real soon, because
you good.
I didn't recognize, similar to Tilted, the power of the ancestry, right? Until folks started going on to the other side. And then it was the Aunt Lou that was like a grandmother to me because I didn't know my grandmother. And then my mama went up there, and I still say 2 things I know my mama did in heaven. She bought the electric slide, even if they wanted to or not. And she done dropped these babies down here where I had to say, if somebody could pray that my mama stopped sending these babies down here, because she like, that one cute, send that one. Oh, look, that one look like they're going to be strong.
Girl, listen.
I promise you there are things that we know, right? And we say it as if it's a cute thing, right? This is the acceptable thing, right? My angels are working on my behalf, right? And in that same vein, when it comes to us saying that, what is the difference between that and acknowledging the ancestral, right, connection that we have? Because yes, we got angels assigned to us. I ain't got no problem with that. Mine is somewhere taking a nap while we talking. Like, just keep up busy right now.
Oh, they probably sitting here listening to us and sitting right next to our ancestors, taking it all in. And see, I just believe people don't. Do you really read the Bible?
I don't think they do.
Have you seen the TikToks where the people show, like, if stuff in the Bible was to really manifest the way it's written in the Bible? Woo! Angels do not look cute like what y'all think angels look.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Right. The seraphim, all of those, the cherubim, they are not cute. They have the faces of animals. That's what God says in the Bible. Angels have animalistic faces. They are not human beings at all. So when we say we have guardian angels, we really have an animalistic type being watching over us. That's why a lot, you know where the term spirit animal comes from?
Yes. Yes.
But people don't pay attention. They don't pay attention. They listen to everything except for what they should listen to. Now, your spirit, your ancestors, that's something totally different. Okay. And I can tell you, I was fortunate enough to be with, and it's fortunate enough. I was fortunate enough to be with my grandfather when he passed away. He was holding my hand when he passed. And if you've never witnessed a person's spirit go up out their body, it's something. Yeah. And I've seen quite a few people pass away. My mom worked in a nursing home for 30-something years. She was a geriatric nurse. She dealt with Alzheimer's and dementia patients. She made sure that they had activities and things of that. So I've always been around elderly people, and I've always been around death. I'm from the South. So my grandma would listen to the obituaries on the 9 o'clock little church radio, honey, baby. And if somebody was on there, she would immediately start frying chicken and cooking biscuits. And we would have to go take that food to somebody's house. You know, that's how close I am. Like, when people die, it doesn't affect me like it does other people. Right. Because I do know that, like it says, you know, to be absent from the body is to be present with. But and then people say, but what if you don't go to God? But you are somewhere. Yeah. I believe I've been here before too. Because some of my memories aren't, these little recollections I have, those are memories. There's no way I can know. You ever know something and don't know how you know? How do you know that?
Yeah, all my life.
It's because you, in a former lifetime, you had that experience. And people don't want to hear that either.
They don't want to talk about that.
Listen, we don't know how this thing works. But we do, because people have been telling these stories for years, and the government was shutting it down. But now it's getting to the point. Where do y'all think AI is coming from? Do y'all really think we're the only ones in the universe?
Not at all.
The Bible says heavens, right? Heavens. Yes. So I love what you're saying, Carla, about it's in the book, right? But many of us, because let's think about this, right? Let's go to Sunday school.
Yes, ma'am.
Sunday school was the last time that you actually read to learn. Now, if it ain't on the screen, we don't want to see it. We're not studying at, like, when the pastor say, now watch between me and thee while we absent. We ain't thinking about that word until we come back and they put it back on the screen. But what happens when you read, right, for understanding? And when you read, because I promise you, I think I've started maybe like 15, 20 times to read the Bible in a year. And then I get to that one chapter, right? Just me. I know it's somebody else. It'd be like, somebody else. It'd be like, wait, what? And then I'm right on it. I don't want to say stuck because it's a revelation, right? Right. you say? Run that back again. Like what is being taught here now has to recalibrate, right? And I promise you, it's one of the things that my husband and I talk about all the time, because we got different thoughts on how all of this stuff happened. And half of his challenge is that I have to battle the brainwashing, because like I got the premium package, okay? Like, that's all
And I know a lot of my girlfriends, even me, because like y'all, for a long time, I would not do anything on Friday night because I was taught that's a no, that's the Sabbath. What are you doing? Okay. And so, you know, I was taught you don't do stuff on the Sabbath.
Right.
You just worship God and you relax. They say God rested on the seventh day. You supposed to rest on the seventh day. Most people don't even stop, even on Sunday. It's business as usual. So even if you call yourself a Christian and you're doing this and are you really celebrating the Sabbath?
Right.
You know, there are things that me included, because I tell people all the time, just call me Peter. Because baby, if you know, I'm the cussing Christian. I cuss, I drink, I do all the things that Jesus died for me for. I do all that. Okay, most of
he died for me for a reason, is what I said. Some of y'all,
I drank to
it wasn't a reason. It was a reason like that.
Well, they act like it don't apply to them, but it applied to each and every one of us, because God said himself, there is no man.
Exactly. And that's one thing I was thinking about yesterday while I was riding through these here streets. I was thinking about a young woman I've dealt with over the years, and I was just praying for her life, period. Because I was recalling the different seasons I've been walking with her through, and just seeing how this life has just been so caught up into this box that she's been put in by this westernized faith. Beautiful, talented, should be out there. Another Keita, another Karen, another Carla. But that brainwashing has kept her stagnant, afraid of her, making her afraid to embrace who she truly is and who she's truly meant to become. I pray for that, you know, because it's like, wow. And I've shared with her, I'm like, sis, there's some conversations I can't have with y'all because y'all not ready.
Yes.
And I have to discern when you are ready to hear what I'm getting ready to say with you. Because some would want to label me a heretic. No, I'm not. My deal is this. I'm a prophet. First of all, I know who I am. He chose me before the beginning of time. And because I know what he chose me for, I have to commune with him in a different way to learn more of him. Right. Not from what these people are telling me about him, but I'm getting it direct on the line because I'm sitting asking questions and waiting for the response, because God does speak. Not necessarily always in the audible voice.
Right.
Yes.
But I look like we were talking about the ancestral veneration earlier.
Right.
One thing I noticed started happening shortly after Mommy passed was I started seeing numbers in a different way. I started seeing numbers in a different way. And I remember the first time it happened, I was like, why are you giving me these $2 bills? I had to stop and said, wait a minute. I've been seeing twos from Jersey to California the whole way.
Yes.
This is somebody talking to me. Let me hold on to these $2 bills. And I just started to pay attention. And that's what sent me into that part of the journey to reconnect with the African part of me, the part that they implemented in the way they were comfortable with. Like they tried to demonize our dance at first, but then all of a sudden the apostolics took it and, oh, that's just a sign that's evidence that, you know, the Holy Spirit is on you. Notice it's on you, not in you. It's just these different practices. And I began to get clarity because it's interesting enough. I didn't find comfortable in American preaching and in teaching during my grief season.
But if you know anything about Santeria,
I talked to my Santeria practicing friends.
And I have, but if you've ever watched a Santeria person get the spirit, what they call the spirit dance on them versus a person getting the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit. What's the difference? There isn't. And I'm here to tell you, it's just when you open up your eyes to things, some things, y'all, it's not our stuff. It's stuff we've been taught, but it's not our stuff. It's not our natural way of being. We come from a, matriarchal society. In Africa, the bloodline was determined through the women, not the men, because you know for sure that the woman was the mother of the child. You didn't always know that the father was. So bloodlines of African kingdoms went through the women, not through the men. That's something that came later, okay? When we have all these different gods and goddesses, Oshun, who I love dearly, who I know, some people say that's not a real person. Oh, but what it is it's a representation of the spirit of things that we manifest. Joy, happiness, peace, love, war. Okay? Some of us got a fighting spirit. Everybody ain't joyful and happy. Okay? Some people got, what they say, growing hands. People who can grow hair. People who can grow food. Everybody has these different things. And these attributes were assigned to these different deities. And then white people came, and I'm going to just say what I'm saying. And they started attributing these gods and goddesses into saints. And you started getting these saints. Saint this, saint that. We got Marvel. Marvel ain't nothing but our African gods and goddesses. Thor, Sango.
Yep.
Storm, Io. We got all these things that they said was bad, but they stole it and put they on it. And now it's good because it's their stuff. It was always us. And so when you've had your first encounter with an ancestor, and it was like, it'll throw you. It'll literally throw you. I know the day my grandma died, you know how they say birds, don't let a bird fly in your house? My grandma always told me, if a bird fly in your house, somebody about to die. The morning my grandma died, y'all, no lie, I got my kids as witnesses, everything. A bird literally flew through the front door, ran in the kitchen, stopped in the kitchen, looked at me, and flew out the back door. And I sat down at the table and I said, Big Mama, get ready to go. Because at the time she was in hospice. So I got my children together. I took them to school. I went to hospice. They said, she's on her last leg. She said, I'm not leaving here till Bill get here. That's my uncle. She said, I'm not leaving. I said, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go ahead and go to work because this could take a while. I went to work. God didn't want me to see my grandma go. But y'all, this bird followed me all the way to work. It followed me all the way to work. And when the phone rang, I looked up, the bird was sitting on the windowsill outside my job. And I knew before I even answered the phone that my grandma had transitioned. My big mom was gone. But she was preparing me the whole time. The birds are messengers, y'all. They're not just here. They actually are messengers. They bring us messages all the time. If you watch the birds, if you have a backyard, I've had my daddy literally come on the back porch and start singing to me like he did in life. And I'd be like, I know it's him. And it's not my imagination. It's not any of these things. I wear stones. A lot of church people have told me I'm not supposed to be wearing stones. But the Bible say if the rocks will cry out.
But then the throne is
and on the breastplates of the priests, he had all the different stones.
It's described. Sardius stone is one of the most powerful stones known to man. And
Lucifer himself. Look at the stones that it says he had on him. Y'all, everything has something attached to it. But we've been taught that that stuff is not stuff that's good, but it was good for us. That's why they did not want us to know about it. There
Right.
is power. I got on black tourmaline. This is going to keep negativity away from me. I make my own bracelets. I stay grounded. I keep a stone on me. I have them in my bra. I have them in my pants.
And people don't get that. It's like, dude, y'all,
Yes. Yes, Marisol.
People are not ready to unbox God.
Right.
They're not ready to unbox God.
And that's how people stay stagnant.
Yeah.
And have you noticed how some cultures are so, they have the stereotype of being intelligent, but it's not just because they're intelligent. Look at those cultures. What do they have that we don't have? They're not locked in to just this one religion. They worship spirit, air, earth, water, the elements. They honor those things. And when you honor God's creation and not just God himself, it makes your mind a different kind of way. You realize that a cat's life is just as important as a person's life. Right. You understand that elderly people are to be honored because they have life experience. The world has changed in such a way. A lot of this stuff, like I'm sorry. Dr. Sebi, y'all, he was healing people and they got him up out of here because he started tapping into people and expanding their minds and telling them, go out there and grow your own mess and heal yourself.
Right. So that they don't have the access to kill you. And, one of the things that when we think about the tactics against those that were enslaved in so many different ways, right? Why was it a crime to learn how to read? Because you read it, you learn it for yourself. If you're not reading it, you can only go by what you're being told. And so, I know Marisol put in here the culture vultures a little while ago in the comments. And that's one of the ways. It's let me hide it. Let me tell you, you don't need it. Because when we start reading the labels, right, that was one of the biggest things with Dr. Sebi. He was putting information for life in the people's hands, and it's different for you versus I'm gonna hide it somewhere, or I'm gonna put it in a book, or I'm gonna put it, when we see the fine print, right? The fine print on many of these medications, we wouldn't take them if we understood you're gonna cure the headache, but your liver, your kidney, your neck, and your back, right? When you realize what it's doing for you, then you have the moment of enlightenment that happens. And that is what we shy away from when we think about yoga, when we think about meditation, when we think about those things that center us with the earth, the indigenous people, the folks that were here before everybody else decided they discovered a land that was already here, right? There was a way about the people that honored God and the elements. And if you read your scriptures, you understand that the elements are to be celebrated. Now, if you don't agree with how one person is celebrating, keep reading, right? Keep searching, keep researching. I posted today, sometime worship chooses you, right? But we haven't been told that investigation is worship. That rest that you're going to need to think something through is worship. We've been told worship is one thing. What somebody has told us to do. Come on to the church house, spend your whole entire day and give all your substance to a church or even to the community while perhaps your family is still in need. That is not what God intended for us. And so while y'all know we about the community here at Unhinged Live, right? It's no problem with that. But the same thing that I mentioned in the beginning, I'm not looking to give anybody my substance. You get my overflow or you get nothing. That is a learned behavior. We gotta be able to tap into that. And if you don't understand, right, this is something that we all could practice. Take the time to learn about it. Learn about it before you just shut it down, because you may be shutting down the thing that is going to heal you. Cancer is on the rise. Why? We taking too much stuff, right? And now people want to control the food. And that's
they putting it in our food. The food ain't even food.
The food is not, but literally that's the problem. But if you grow it yourself, right? If you take the seed and you know what it is you're eating, is it harder for them to sell you the bags of death? Let's just call it what it is. Is it harder for them? It actually is. But we want convenience. We want to go through the drive-thru. We want to, like, I get it. Like, but what are those things that we could do? Listen, y'all.
Listen, we can talk about this all night.
We can go here because I'm just like, let it flow. Let it flow.
I'm here to tell you, like Marisol, what she was saying, you said about her tie. You know, Ruth, let me tell you, baby, I got island in my blood. I got Africa in my blood. I got indigenous in my blood. I got the good white folks in my blood. My white ancestors are Scottish and Russian. I said that explains a lot about me.
I love it.
Because baby, I can smile, but baby, when this smile slide to the side, guess what else I can do? I can throw these hands, and not in the name of Jesus necessarily all the time. But I just got too old for that. That's all. But it's there, you know. And we are all these people. We have all this. You know, she said we grew up using these roots. Yes, Rhonda. Yes, you know our big mamas would go in that. They would go out in the yard and get something in a minute. How many of us, when we used to have cramps, my grandma would make that ginger root tea, and baby, you could feel that ginger root just working on the cramps. Licorice, you know, things that. Black people didn't have money to be going to the store to buy no medicine. We made our own stuff.
Yep.
You understand me? I mean, there are things that we do that we don't realize is ancient. We can go outside and say, it smells like rain coming.
Yes.
And I had somebody say, how you look like snow? Well, how you know that?
The coloring in the sky. And it also has a smell.
My knee hurting. It must go rain. I used to think my grandma was crazy when she used to say stuff like that. Baby, let me tell you, sour, sorrel, all of that. Trini girl. Okay? We do all that. Okay? Dominicans, Black people, indigenous. We are all one big family. Okay? We are all one big family. We do a lot of the same things, but do things different. The sweet oil, same thing. Yep. We'll put that sweet oil in our ear. When my babies were constipated, my grandma say, give them some of that, what you call it? Y'all, that K-Rose syrup. But guess what? It worked.
It worked. We would do the potato around the neck, draw
put the onion in your sock to get rid of your fever.
Listen. It works.
And all of that stuff is what they consider to be voodoo, but y'all, it ain't. It works.
Peppermint tea, ginger tea. Peppermint tea, ginger tea. My children and myself stayed well. I ain't taking no flu shot.
No, listen, the 2 times I took the flu shot, I got the flu, and my doctor tried to tell me then that means the flu was already in your body. It was not.
Y'all put it there. Y'all not know. And we say it every year. It's like, well, no, you know, we recommend it. Now my doctor is like, I know what your answer gonna be, but they're gonna ask. That's why my doctor said, I'm gonna ask. I know you're gonna say no, but I'm gonna ask. Let's get it over with, because what we're not doing is you shooting this and this is not a conspiracy theory, right? That is what the flu shot is. And so you got to do your research. And
it has remnants of the flu, but it's not active flu. What you mean?
But you give me
something comes into my body, it's my body's job to either activate it or get it out. And so most of us whether we get sick, have a reaction, or get the actual flu, it's our body's job to fight. So if you put a foreign object in my body needs to fight it. No, thank you. You can miss me with that. I
don't want it.
I promise you. I got my oregano leaf. I got a bunch of stuff anyway. So
and we can talk, and listen, that's why when I was doing comedy and stuff. When I first started out, I was doing club comedy because it was my therapy for my life. Yeah, it benefits them to call it witchcraft. That's just like I was saying now. Y'all, marijuana get ready to be illegal, to be legal everywhere. You know why? Because now it's going to make them more money for it to be legal than illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And all along, people knew that marijuana benefited you some kind of way, right? For some people. See what I'm saying, you Bajan? You know, and there's things that our government, alcohol was illegal once upon a time, won't it?
Right.
I was like, what about remember prohibition, y'all?
But they realized how much money they lost doing prohibition. So guess what they did? They brought it back.
Regulated so that they could get the cash on it. And I promise
and the same thing going on with, with everything. And it's just our bodies, women's bodies, especially Black women's bodies.
Girl.
We were guinea pigs for so long.
Yep. They tested the whole of gynecology on us, right?
Yes.
So everything that
they said that man was experimenting on Black women with no anesthesia, because they didn't believe we felt pain
several times.
And they still feel like that. I don't care what nobody say. You got to research getting your doctors and people that's in charge of your mind, because Black people go to therapy. I'm gonna say it again. Black people go to therapy. Black people go to therapy, please. But when I first started doing comedy, baby, I was cussing. I was cussing as hard as I could, because, baby, I knew I was going to them good people's church, teaching Sunday school. I had to get it out of me. I did. And I'm going to just be honest. And then I became a Christian comic. And now I'm going through menopause, so I'm somewhere in the middle again, because I got to cuss sometimes.
Hey. Listen, and here's the deal. God knew you was going to get to that point, and either which way, he can still use you.
He did. You hear me? And I'm good. What she say in Puerto Rico, sir? Yes. And I have so many friends and family that's Puerto Rican. I love Puerto Rico. That's one of my favorite places on earth. I feel like when you're in Puerto Rico, you really are like in touch with God. Just when you put your foot on the sand, from the trees to just the way the people flow, it's something. If you've never been to a Caribbean place, if you've never been around where the water is blue and the sand is white, it'll do something different to you. It makes you feel different. It feels like you stepped through a portal and something in your spirit just said, relax.
Yeah.
Everything over here is just so hustle bustle that when you relax, you feel guilty.
Talk about it. Because
especially Black women, we so used to doing 8 million things at one time.
That's why
if we take a day of
rest is worship. Rest.
Baby, let me tell you, Carla will rest. The Leo in me, the cat in me.
Yes, you will.
She is a napper. If they had a professional napping position somewhere and paid, baby, I would be their top earner. Because, baby, I can't do stuff without taking a nap.
How do you want me to nap today is the question.
I'll be like, what kind of nap do you need? Do you need a 10-minute nap with a side of apple juice and some grits? Sweetie? What you want? Because, baby, I do. I mean what I say, honey. And I just, I think all artists, whether you're a comedian, an actor, singer, dancer, it's therapy. It's a way of self-care. It's a way of self-love, whether people know it or not. I think about, y'all know who I think about all the time, and I know this is weird because he was one of my favorite comics. It's Robin Williams. Yes. One of the funniest people on earth ever, hands down. And that man did not think he was good enough. One of the best actors to ever act. Ever. He could do a dramatic role better than a person who went to Juilliard and studied and got all these doctorates. And that man killed himself because his mind his mind.
His mind.
And that's why when it says that we fight principalities, right? Unknown things, spirits of the air. Some people don't believe that. That's why I keep my grounding stones on me. Now I feel like my mama said, don't nobody got the power to do nothing to me, because the Bible clearly says that I have the same power that Jesus had. Now I believe in Jesus. I proclaim Jesus. Now if you believe in Allah or Buddha or whatever you believe in, I'm with that too. I'm with you believing in what helps you and your spirit man to walk the right walk. You understand? I know some people don't like to hear that, but I'm not against any other religion if it benefits you and makes you a better person. I'm not at all. But the God that I serve, he said that because I am his child, that I have the same power that he has. And he has the power to cast out devils and demons. In whose name? Jesus. I believe that.
Yeah.
So when people talk about, oh, she trying to put a root on me, but she can't.
I had to tell someone, I was like, who tried to tell me somebody tried to work something on me. And I just started laughing. I said, baby,
now you can feel it when somebody do try to do something to you. Yeah. You can feel it. Your spirit, your ancestors will let you know. But see, that's where the ancestors come in. Because baby, they'll run interference real quick.
Real quick. So I'm like, oh, they tried it, but here's the deal. The weapon may form, but it
won't prosper.
So they're just not that powerful, because you don't understand how surrounded I am, how protected I am. But you can keep on trying.
And keep on, because then you gonna wake up with a rabbit tail on the back of your back, fooling with me
or something. That's gonna be on you, not on me.
And I have had people come to me and apologize who tried to work a root on me because it started tearing up their life. I'll be like, baby, you can't do, because that boomerang, my ancestors don't play about me.
That part.
Okay, I'm like, you burn that sage trying to get rid of evil spirit. Next thing you know, you was the one that was gone.
Come on.
And I grew up in a church where they don't believe in going to heaven. They believe in the final resurrection. And you wait until the resurrection and then you're going to get up and all of that stuff. And I mean, some people believe that, and I'm not knocking it. Okay. But my grandmother, who just recently died last year, 92, she really believed that. And I think it's funny because I feel her around here sometimes. I have asked her, I said, Grandma, how you feel now that you realize you up, girl? You up. And I know the week my grandma died, good things, new stuff started coming to me. And I said, that's my grandma.
It's a fact.
And I said, she didn't even know. She didn't even know. Because see, some stuff we taught, and then when we get to the other side, we be like, oh. And I've not been there, but I've just heard other people tell stories about crossing over and coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this stuff. People aren't making up this stuff.
Right. No, they're not.
They're not making up this stuff. So I think if you tap into your ancestors, it helps you to be a better version of who you are here in the present. It also helps you to know what you're trying to do for your legacy, for your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, all these people that are coming after you. One day you're going to be the ancestor. And I know right now, I already told my children, I said, don't y'all worry. When I leave here, I'm going to be doing all kind of stuff in the spirit. Y'all going to be like, oh, Lord, mama doing shit up there. It's going to be me. Yeah, it's going to be your mama. Because I'm going to show enough ride heavy for mine. I'm telling y'all now.
I'm riding.
You hear me? And I wish people would understand that God is God, but he made this universe in such a way that we literally box ourselves in because we don't take into accountability that we aren't just earth beings. We are universal beings.
Yes, we are. You know, what Donald Lawrence released that song, You're Not a Natural Being.
Yes, that's my mama's song, honey.
Right? That
Yes.
song, and we used to sing that one down, you know.
But it's
Listen to
true.
what the words are. We're having but you're a spiritual being, right?
Yeah, we're like they say, we are natural, we are supernatural beings having a natural experience.
Having a natural experience.
And it's true.
It really
If
is.
you think about some of the stuff, if you think about some of the things you knew, and you know, things that have come to you, things that have happened, miracles. I tell people all the time, God works miracles every day. I've seen God heal my mama from a brain tumor. I've seen God heal my mama from epilepsy. I've seen people get healed from this. I've seen people get healed from mental deficiency, alcoholism, drug addiction, violent behavior, all of that. But the thing is, you gotta want it.
Come on.
You gotta want it. And I'm talking to myself like I'm sitting here right now. Y'all, I lost my job and didn't get 1 cent of unemployment. But guess what? I'm still sitting here looking cute as I can look.
Yes, girl, you look
with
good.
All
girl.
my teeth in my mouth, with food in the refrigerator, as my grandma used to say, with food in the refrigerator and clothes on my back.
All right now.
And I'm good because my ancestors said, hold up. Let us do this.
Let's move this
God
around.
said, let me take care of my baby. Okay. I do. I believe in miracles. I believe sometimes we got to do our part. Sometimes we don't, Marisol. Sometimes God just be in a good mood, be like, here, baby, just like we are with our kids. If you ever want to understand God, look at your children. I say that all the time. If you have multiple children, especially, none of them jokers got the same personality. And you can't treat them the same way.
No, you can't.
I had 4 different personalities in my house and they daddy. And I used to be like, my God. But it taught me a lot, y'all. It taught me about people. It taught me about, I grew up in a house full of cousins. During the summertime, we all got shipped to Big Mama and Big Daddy's house. It wasn't nothing to talk about. Everybody went down south. Okay, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And y'all had to learn how to coexist with each other. You had the cousin who was the tattletale. You had the cousin who was the crybaby. You had the cousin who was always getting in trouble. You had the cousin who was always getting out in trouble by the cousin who was getting people in trouble. You had the cousin who was always getting the tail beat. You had the cousin who liked to sit in the house up on the big one. You had all these different personalities at your grandma's house every summer. Yeah. And you know, all your listen, y'all, my children taught me patience. If nothing else, my children taught me patience, but not just with them, but with me.
Yes.
Right? And you always got the one child that keep you on your knees.
Oh, yes.
Huh? Or niece or nephew. And we don't give enough credit to aunts. I tell people that all the time. The aunties. My mom's sisters are just as much my mama as she is.
Okay.
The aunties are important. The uncles.
Yes.
Thank God for my mom's brothers. The uncles. You know, people don't talk about how community. Y'all, we got to get back to it.
Oh, yes.
And we've been screaming that so loud from this platform. That's been my heart this year. Embracing your village, embracing community, because so many people are out here stuck and frustrated because they've created an existence where they literally are alone. That all the women independent. Do you really want to be that independent girl? Hush
and
your
that's
mouth.
cool. If that's what you really want.
Help. You need some help. I was talking to Jackie on yesterday, and I was sharing with her how I love how she works her village.
Yeah.
You busy over here, you busy over here. Y'all got the tag team mom crew. Okay.
I used to do that.
Here, I gotta be over here. Okay, we could drop him off over here, and I'll take this group over here. And if you gotta, you tired, you gonna lay down. Okay, cool. We got everybody. Everybody gets to where they need to go. Everybody is supported. because everybody is everybody mama in the village. It's rare. But then again, Jackie, she got that South Carolina all up in her. That's how she was raised.
And I ain't like these other church women. I need a man to rub on me sometimes, child. I need a man to rub on me. And people can say what they want. And I ain't married, but you can best believe somebody's child is rubbing on me sometimes. Thank you, Jesus. Because I need it. I need it. And they just, you're not supposed to do that till you get married. Well, honey, God died for me. He died for me because I got to have a little touch with some breath behind it sometimes.
With some breath behind it.
I ain't said about the battery.
It's the pulse. It's the pulse.
You hear me? I need some air on my back of my neck sometimes. Besides this fan.
I love it. I love it. But it takes me back to the he without sin cast the first stone.
I don't care nothing about it. I just know honey, somebody's son got to come see about me every now and again so I can think properly. And that's something else that they made us think was wrong.
You know,
us being sexual. Girl. They tried to stop it because our power is in our sexuality too, y'all.
Girl, you know,
but don't nobody
I'm feeling an after dark episode.
Yes, so we're gonna have to have Carla back for our conversation Unhinged After Dark because it gets real. But there
I was a pure romance specialist. I saw pure romance for years. I was what you call an intimacy expert.
The intimacy expert. So we have to talk about that as well because that's why you got a whole lot of sisters around here evil for no particular reason. Because, you know, there is scientific evidence to support that sexual activity has health benefits.
But you know what? But this goes back to the church. A lot of women and men don't know how to be intimate with each other because of church hang-ups.
Separation.
Or because they were molested by somebody at the church and don't nobody really want to talk about that.
Well now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That part.
Okay. Look, what you do? I'm just saying, people don't want to.
They don't want to, but you know what? There's healing in these conversations, and
yes,
what we're really saying is, we want to call something deliverance, but nobody's getting delivered. We want to call it healing. I gotta talk to you about why. Right? Like, what's the reason why? First of all, it ain't your business, but there's a benefit in us having this conversation because we can free somebody else to understand that if you busy worrying about how your lifestyle, right, is affecting you and you using less of your time to worry about how my lifestyle is affecting me, understand that there are certain things that we're putting a stop on. Right, that if we look in biblical terms, all right, look at who is it, Ruth? Look at her. How she get the husband? You became a wife from having sex. So just because we want to say we want to follow the legal rules behind it, sex, wife, however whatever title you want to put on it, they didn't make it this complicated. It was you having sexual intercourse. Well, now that's your man. All right, that now. Y'all figure out the rest of it. I ain't in everybody's bedroom, so I don't care nothing about that.
Right.
We are oversimplifying it and dictating things that we haven't dug the rest into, right? So when we're talking about what made somebody a spouse in biblical terms, y'all had sex.
And listen, and people really get in the uproar when I say, girl, I need about 2-3 men.
Okay.
Listen, and I'm not just talking about for sex. This was go wrong. And I just posted something the other day where the lady was saying the same thing. I said, listen, I might got the one dude who me and him, we just on the same mental level.
Yeah, I like vibing.
Me and him could talk about everything, but his sex is garbage. But here come the other one. I got that one. I got the man who breaks my back out whenever I need him. And then I got the other one over there. He just like to pay bills. Honey, you can do that. And together, they make the perfect mate. right? But men have been doing that for years. But when we say that, we hoes.
So
Yeah, we
hoes and we this and we
talk
that.
about multi-dating here, right? We talk
Yes.
about dating more than one person, right?
Everything's not sexual.
And that's
exactly.
it. Everything is not sexual.
But now, in a perfect world, your one man will have all these things.
Yeah.
Right? In a perfect world. And that's why I say I commend people who really stay married and love each other and just, because I've been there. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. And maybe one day God will allow me.
Like we have these, and I think that more, I wish, and I'm going to say this because Tilted knows, before I got married, I really thought that marriage was the goal. Like, everybody need to be married. You just go and do it, whatever that means for you. Now that I'm married, there is an understanding of two things: what it costs to stay married, and the conversations that still need to be had, that nobody, right now, I said this the week before my wedding. I'm mad at the church folks because they talked about the don't do this, don't do that, but nobody really was talking about, you're gonna need to ask these questions. Here's what you need to know. Here are the things that you better have a checklist on, so that I'm prepared for what I'm going into. Because once you get on the other side, this is a vow, right? And I say that to somebody. It's not that me and him are besties every day.
Right.
We make the choice to love each other through the flaws, through the questions, or you get on my nerves. Where in the world is my big bow? I can't find it. Okay.
Girl, bye. I'm like Ayala. I'm to the age where she said, look, I'll be a sister wife as long as I ain't got to stay in the same house with her. She can stay at her house and I can stay at my house, and he can run between the two of us. I don't give a damn. He can get a little younger one, excuse my French, and I'll be over here. I'll be the older chick that goes shopping and do her little creative activities while she doing the children and stuff. 'Cause baby, I'm past that. I ain't doing that. I'm over that. Okay, and I still same man, because the reality is, y'all, a lot of these men got another woman anyway. You just might not don't know about her.
Exactly. I had that thought the other day. I'm like, y'all, because everybody always wants to demonize the side chick, right? And I be saying, I'm like, y'all, I need y'all to appreciate his side chick, because at the end of the day, the side chick might be the reason why he's still with you.
Exactly.
Huh?
And stop calling her the side chick. She's the marital assistant. That's what I tell people.
Marital assistant.
Sometimes his foolishness, he taking over her house, and you be all right, girl. Gentlemen, people they really don't be wanting to hear the stuff I be having to say sometimes. But I talk about this stuff in my comedy acts, y'all, because it's real. Sometimes when you are married to a person, you look at them sometimes, you be like, what on earth have I done? Who is this? Why did I do this? And I love my children's father. Me and him, we are still friends. We got children and grandchildren together. But God told me, don't marry that man. You know who told me to marry that man? My mama, my grandma, the church, every doggone body. We had been living together for 7 years before we had even thought about getting married. It was not even a thing. And I was going to church heavily, but I had already determined in my spirit I was not getting married.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Marisol in the comments.
Girl, listen, Marisol. And look, one girl said 7. Stop playing, gentlemen. Y'all think y'all the thing. Y'all don't understand. It take about 2 or 3 of y'all to make one of what we really want anyway. So stop playing.
And most of it, can we say, is breaking down the bad relationship habits that they've had with other women. Because instead of having real conversations about how you supposed to show up, now you let him be lame in different areas, and he does not even know how to show up. So maybe he can't be all 7, but he should be able to be 2 or 3 of them. I'm just
We
saying.
need at least 3.
But I will say this, I'm talking all this junk, but I do got a favorite.
Girl, you got a favorite too?
I got a favorite, y'all. He is my favorite. And I tell you about it, I'll be like, baby, you my favorite. And I just
like
really just, you got a favorite. Every woman got a favorite.
I got a favorite.
I got a favorite. Yeah, he make me, you see, I start blushing. I'll be like, oh.
I'm like, yeah.
He all right with me.
You know he is.
And then you just have people who you talk to or chill with. I have been on date. I haven't been on a date recently. Oh yeah. Did I? No. It's been a while. But once you find one you really like, you can't let them know that they your favorite necessarily all the time, because then they start taking advantage of it. They start,
Yeah, you never let your favorite know.
Well, sometimes you do, because you be like, baby, you my favorite, but don't get it twisted now.
I will, hey, don't you ever force
Karen laughing at that. She like, God, this nigga is crazy.
We the single ladies talking right now, having
yeah, sis, no, she used to be single. She know what it is.
Listen, and we had the conversations because it takes a lot, right? And I say this, I got to mine swiftly because I did the multi-dating, right? What y'all doing?
Right.
What? Because some of the conversations we missing, and I'm not saying for anybody to get anxious about the place you at, but if y'all haven't met crappy conversations with no substance, you don't even know who you will be with this person, right? Because there's some evolution that we have as women, no matter what person we connect to. The question is that person worth your time for the evolution that you're going to have to go through?
And I watch my married friends. I learn a lot from my married friends. And I got some of my married friends are, they on their like second and third marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really pay attention, because now, like they say, the third time's a charm. A lot of time it is. My uncle told me that the wife he been with the longest is his third wife. And that's the one that make him the happiest. But you know what? That's because he had to grow up.
Right.
And people don't want to admit that. Sometimes you marry somebody at 21 and you turn 31 and you are a wholly different person.
Right.
And y'all don't mesh.
Right.
And y'all done got married. But God said we supposed to be married forever. But did God tell you to marry that person?
Come on.
Or did you marry that person? Did you say that was your person?
On the right foot? Did it start on the right foot?
And then when you start growing like this, it's because that wasn't your person anyway.
Right.
And then you fighting to hold on to something that won't God ordained in the first place.
And that is so real. I share the same experience. I know the day I married my ex-husband, I'm standing there in my little cute dress, and I heard the Holy Spirit say, don't marry him. But what did I do? I said I do. Because, for several different reasons, like the church, I didn't want to embarrass him. We didn't come this far, and I knew I could learn to love anybody. So since I'm here, we might as well do this thing. And, I loved him over the course of the time. But like you said, I woke up one day and was like, well, what in the world is going on here?
Girl, that's exactly what happened to me. I was like, I literally woke up and looked at him and I said, girl,
why am I here?
I don't care. I do not care. I was like, God, do what you go do. I can't do this no more. And people say that doesn't really happen. It does happen. And people get so upset when men do it to women, but y'all, it happens with women to men too. I know, because I was just like, listen, the day when I went to go get my marriage license, y'all, while my ex-fiance in another city, the elevator doors open, he was standing on the other side and the doors closed. I said, what? What? But that really happened. And I said, oh no, do I need to go through with this? But guess what I did? Went right on down there and married that man and was miserably married. Because it wasn't God. It was Carla.
Come on.
And a lot of people won't admit the person who was perfect for you at 25 is not the person who is perfect for you at 40.
Girl.
Because you might have grown up and he didn't. Or she might have not grown up. I know a lot of men. I got shout out to the men who have raised their kids because the mama wouldn't do it.
Come on.
I got some guy friends who have raised their kids
Preach.
because the mama wouldn't do it. But you married that woman because she was who your mama wanted you to marry. She was cute. She had the shape. She had this and that, but she was not who God told you to be with.
Mm-hmm. And like I was sharing with one of my mentors during my divorce season, because he called and he checked on me, and he was asking questions because he needed answers, and I'm answering freely. I said to him, I promise you, I don't think God ever intended anybody to live in a marriage and be this miserable.
That part.
Ooh,
this miserable. And the immediate answer was no, he didn't.
Yep.
Just because
Marisol, that's it. Our flesh be sabotaging us.
Miserable.
And that's what I tell people all the time. I mean, everybody's marriage is different. Some women marry for security. Some women marry because they want attention. A lot of times we get married to the person who gives us either what we didn't get as a kid, or they mirror the person who did give us what we wanted as a kid. Mm-hmm. But just because they do that doesn't mean they're your person, right?
That's right.
But for me, I need somebody who could talk, who could communicate.
Yeah.
Like even the stuff I don't want to hear sometimes. I need somebody who could be totally almost abruptly honest with me. Because it gives me the option of choosing, do I want to do this or do I want to do that?
Right.
I don't like being blindsided. Mm-hmm. I feel like I should never have to find out something about my man from somebody else.
Correct.
He should have told me.
Yes. And that's one thing, especially in today's dating pool. I'm easy to catch a lie. What's the phrase? Scratch a lie, find a thief.
Honey,
I'll be listening so well, brother than lied to me, not realizing how keenly I maintain and retain information in my head. Come fast forward, you're telling me the same situation, but the name of the town you moving to didn't change. So I done caught you in a lie already. There's no need for us to continue to speak.
Because you is also foolishness.
Because I'm a whole stranger to you. So what in your mind made you think you needed to lie to me?
That part.
What made you think you needed to lie to me? And if I'm able to detect a lie, you're not somebody I need to deal with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of men out here who they want to parent you.
That's a whole other show, Lord.
All the bills that come to this address have my name
Baby,
on.
I'm 51 years old, and my daddy been dead since 1995.
Come on,
I can tell me and dad. He been dead a long time.
Or to dumb down my intelligence. Don't do that.
Now I will now. If you're doing the things,
I'm gonna sit there and sit quiet, look.
I'm gonna listen, and I might do some of what you say. Actually,
I'm like, okay.
If I agree,
you
understand me?
Yes.
If your kingdom has evidence,
right? Okay, I will submit to the right person. I say this all the time, to the right person. I will submit, but where you at though?
I love it. Listen, y'all are tuned into Unhinged Live.
I'm sorry.
It's all good because this has just been a conversation with Carla.
Love it.
Unhinged Live. We had a whole show format written down, but you already know we yield the floor to the Holy Spirit.
We're sorry.
And Spirit led me to ask a question to turn this conversation in the direction that it absolutely needed to go on tonight. I want to go ahead and shout out all the people that we see getting it popping in the comment section. Hey, y'all. Hey, thank you so much for your participation.
Yes.
Thank you for everything that you added to the conversation, because as you see, it's about to get extra real over here at the Unhinged Live platform, as we are real women, always acknowledging that we are queen agers, and we aren't the only people here on the platform. We got the kings on the platform too, that come and chop it up, because as we've been discussing tonight, we be needing that male perspective.
Yes.
To keep us balanced. So Carla, you are amazing. I told you I was looking forward to having a conversation with you in a different way. You didn't know that I was going to take it here tonight, did you? I'm so glad that you are such a willing participant, because I don't know, I can attest to at least 4 people listening to tonight. The world needed to hear everything that came out your mouth tonight.
Thank you. And I just thank you, ladies. I love watching your show. Like I told y'all, I'm a fan girl. I have been watching y'all show, and y'all were on my show. You were excellent. You were, people loved that episode. And I just want to thank you for just keeping it real.
Love it. Love it.
Girl, you already know. Ain't nothing fake about us.
That
you might get a braid or something.
And I mean, you just got your award. So that listen, y'all. There you go, ma'am. I mean, excellence breeds excellence. You know, your circle, if you're an excellent person, your circle is typically excellent. And I'm in this season now. It's hard, y'all, when God start elevating you, but snatching people back.
Yeah.
People who you thought was going to be there.
Yeah.
Well.
And you're like, well, I wanted to share this with such and such, but God said, I didn't want you to share that with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you found out somebody didn't feel about you the way you thought, and things. Yeah. And you have to adjust yourself. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. Okay.
Listen, you preach to the choir right now, because I promise you, that's where I've been lately. You mentioned earlier you feel like you're in a midlife crisis, honey. So do I, because I'm like, Lord, what's going on? Because I remember the people who said, but as I look up now, they ain't nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found. And then they wonder why I just return the same energy. That's all. Or
you find out that people, like I said, you find out people feel a ways about you and you never knew it.
Yeah.
And that hurts. It's like, for what? I live paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of people that have problems with me have far more than what I have.
Just because I'm bold.
Materialistically, they do. And I think a lot of times what I have found out, being a daughter of Oshun, is when you have a light and you naturally exhibit light and love and laughter, and people are drawn to you, and you don't have what the people who feel like people should be drawn to them because they have this, that, and the other, and you don't have it, it could cause jealousy. It could cause people to try to sabotage you and do things to you. Yeah, Marisol, that energy. But sometimes you can't feel that energy because it's wolf in sheep clothing sometimes. And because you really love these people and trust these people, they can be your downfall if you don't open up your eyes. And I mean, all your eyes. And that's another thing I've been learning too.
Girl.
Going with my intuition. And listen, this, y'all see, I keep patting my forehead. I got things that don't just line up with what we've been taught by the church necessarily, but I know it to be true. Energy is always going to be accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Energy. And you got to stop making excuses for what you feel versus what you think you feel.
Mm.
And what you see and what you hear. You got that friend that always make little slick comments every time something positive comes out your mouth or happens to you.
Pay
And then you
attention.
sit down and you think about it and you're like,
That's off.
all the time, all this time.
Listen, and to that, I say, check it out. It's Unhinged Live, and I'm looking at the clock. Yo, we done went almost 2 hours, y'all. I told y'all I was just gonna let it rock and let this conversation flow the way it needs to go. And I'm so grateful.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, because
I just be talking, girl. I be talking.
You said what needed to be said, and we've received every word in the spirit with which it was given and delivered with a whole lot of love, sis. We see you. So listen, I'm looking at the clock because we got to get off of here because you know, Karen's husband gonna want to see her at some point this evening.
I'm sorry, Karen. Yes.
We love you, Mr. Harold. So check it out. Check it out. Y'all know what it is. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get yourselves together. It's about that time for us to receive this week's dose of spiritual nourishment coming from our very own master. She a master, y'all, in so many different ways. I could talk about my best friend forever, but our very own certified master life coach. She's in-house, y'all. Coach Cash herself, Twisted Threads LLC, with this week's reflection of purpose. Coach Cash, make it do what it do, baby. Take it away.
We're gonna be brief, but we're gonna get to the point, right? Today we want to remind us, y'all know I come with the title, Let's Build. Let's build. A lot of us are sometimes expecting magic to happen, something to fall out the sky. But there's something that's required of us. And here's the thing with building, right? If you go down to your local Five and Dime and you get that bookshelf, usually that bookshelf comes with directions. Many of us are trying to move forward without taking a moment to review the directions. Take the time to review the directions that is coming from your manufacturer. And I'm saying that because worship is a thing that has been on my heart and my mind. Meditation, having that time, even if it's just you and nothing else, no music, all of that stuff. You got to understand that there's something deeper. Get into the elements so that the conversations can be different in your own head first. Everything that has been built in the earth started with a thought. Before God said, let there be light, he thought that thing and then spoke the thing, knowing that it would manifest itself. And so when I'm talking about let's build, I'm talking about let's build ourselves. Let's build our thoughts. Let's build our self-esteem. Let's understand that, as we've already heard from Carla and Keita, everybody can't come. But for those who are assigned to be on this journey with you, one of y'all carry the nail, somebody else get the hammer, somebody get that screwdriver. Let's make sure that the direction that we're going into is building for a better tomorrow. How do you get an apple tree? Well, first you got to plant a seed. And some of us are trying to skip the steps because we want to walk right into the building. And I want to remind you, some of this stuff going to take time. You got to let it marinate, right? What happened there is something different when you cook something real quick in 30 minutes versus that slow cook thing, right? Mm-hmm. You let smoke or you let marinate. Honey, not only is it fall off the bone, but it's good to your nostrils. It's good to the touch. You appreciate the experience of that thing falling off the bone, that fork being able to separate things. This is how we have to be with our life in this season. So as we talked about knowing who we are, we get to speak those things, and you don't have to run to the church house for a word every 5 minutes. You ain't got to stand on nobody's long line to figure out what the word is, but center yourself, right? And make sure you are hearing the messages that are assigned to you. So let's build. Let's build in our hearts. Let's build in our minds. And then let's get out into our communities and make sure we are creating a legacy of builders, of change agents, and what else? Spreading that love and that energy throughout the entire world. Y'all know we say it often. We here for zip codes and area codes. It don't matter where you're at right now. Your tribe can literally go further than where you are right now. Let's build. Send it right back at you.
That word right there was absolutely delicious. Thank you so much. I plan to continue to digest that thing slowly.
That is something, girl. God be knowing. I say that all the time. God be knowing. Because guess what I've been asking God about? Who should I build with, God?
Hey, girl, don't start. I done got a touch of the spirit when you said that.
Girl, let me tell you something. That's what I do miss about church, baby. I tear they carpet up.
Girl,
baby, I'm a praiser.
Okay.
So my neighbors, they know, baby. I'll run out on the front porch in the backyard, baby. I'll be here shouting 6 o'clock in the morning.
Let's get it with the Lord. That's me. I'm so glad my house ain't attached to nobody. But listen. I got to ask you, Carla, before we conclude tonight's broadcast, I got to ask you to share with our audience where and how they can connect with you if they want to bring you in to make them kiki chuckle it up with your comedy. If they want to partner with you to have the people snapping it up to all these spoken words you be bringing. If they want to cast you in something, if they want you to be a guest on their podcast, because we're supported by our sisters and brothers in the podcast community. How can our listeners connect with you?
Well, you can always follow me. I'm on the socials, as they say. I'm on the socials. I am on. Let me fix my southern accent because I was told I'm southern. Carla, Carla Simpson, just like Bart, just like OJ. Okay, Facebook. You can follow me on the Carla Simpson. If you type me in the Instagram, it'll still come up. My name is Afro 10 AAHFRO 10. I do a lot of skits. I do a lot of stage plays. I do a lot. I got right now 7 movies on Tubi.
I'm just saying.
And 3 of them are doing very well.
Yes,
so if you get an opportunity, go watch Bloodline of the Jewel. Go watch What Fairy Tale. Go watch Sympathy for the Narcissist. Counterplay, Couch Party, The Bridge. Did I miss anything? What did I miss? Oh, my first movie is on YouTube called A Cure for Kyle. I won an award for that. I just found out while I was sitting here talking to y'all, my phone's going off. Y'all, I got nominated for Comedian of the Year again. And I'm in 2 plays that were nominated for Stage Play of the Year.
Awesome.
So he's doing what he's doing. And I just want to shout out my cast that work with me, everybody who does comedy with me, all the comics, all the actors, all the poets, all the podcasters. You know, we are each other's village, y'all. We are. And thank you, ladies, for having me on. Y'all follow me, laugh at my stuff, like my stuff, so I can get paid.
Listen, it's that easy.
It's just that easy. I'm like, all I got to do is this real quick. Okay, let me just do this. You know,
share it, like it, or something. Okay. I even look. I got a Trifus. Me and Trifus. For those of y'all who watch Save the Arts,
you and Trifus.
I'm Wanda. Maybe y'all didn't know it, but I'm Wanda.
Cousin Wanda.
Okay, I'm cousin Wanda. Please, we want to get some money. Look, like our stuff. Okay.
Buy her records and buy her tape.
Please. Because I'm telling you, honey, them little children is giving me heartburn down there at the school. Okay. All right.
Make sure y'all connect with Carla, and you already know I got to give y'all most favorite outro. I just got to encourage you to just be. And in light of everything that was discussed here on the platform, I hope you got your stamps and your passports tonight, because we went a little bit of here and a little bit of there. I'm going to encourage you all to continue to just be teachable. Through so much of tonight's conversation, I just kept hearing this scripture I've been throwing at people all week. Listen, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. My people perish for a lack of knowledge, which is why I'm encouraging you to participate in more conversations like this. And I would encourage you to listen to understand as opposed to respond, because it's when you're in that posture in a conversation when you're actually teachable.
Yeah.
So don't be like one of them people that's out here becoming the epitome of what the N word truly does represent. We want to make sure that we are not the people that will continue to miss living our best life here on this side of life, because we don't have the knowledge that we need to go ahead and manifest the kingdoms and the queendoms we were predestined to live in front of our enemies. Just be teachable. It's your girl Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims Harold of Twisted Thread LLC, saying good night to our lovely guest, Crazy Carla Simpson. Carla, thank you so much for giving us your time and your energy on tonight. We are Unhinged Live, and guess what, y'all? I think we're gonna be back next week. And until then, y'all, stay blessed.